Good morning, everybody. It's Denise here, Denise Junk Journals UK. Thank you so much for joining me again. This is a continuation continuation to the Beginner's Basics video that was aired yesterday, I believe, which was, gosh, what day of the week is it? Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. And I just wanted to come on. I told you that I would, but I didn't say what day. And sew the signature in so that next Tuesday, when we do the premiere, the journal is ready to go and we can do some ephemera making and adding things to it and tarting it up, I guess is a good terminology. So I'll come to the scoreboards in a minute. I like to use 9 times out of 10 waxed thread when I am sewing in a journal. And when I first started, I think this is the one I bought. This came with the brad. Now, I've not found anything as effective as this, and I did buy this straight away. In fact, I bought a kit. It had this. It had a little sort of a bone foldery thing in it. I didn't find it yet. It had this, and this in it. And there were bigger kits where you could buy lots of coloured thread in it, but like I say, I was on a budget, so it had these in it, and I think some clips, some sort of something like that. I don't know. And it was only, you know, like £3 or something like that. Now, it was 4 years ago, so they're probably more than that now. But if you're going to buy anything, I would definitely say buy an awl. Definitely. I cannot imagine sewing a journal in without it. Now, of course, if you're making very thin paper journals, you could just put your needle through, but you know, you can stab yourself, all sorts of things. These really are the best. Now, it did come with because it was very sharp when it's new. Still quite sharp, but not as sharp as it was. It did come with a plastic point coverer, end coverer. I would say keep that on. I did do for a long time, but it's got lost. I mean, this is as good as these bone folders. It's different, but you know, it's very effective. I use this quite a lot as well. So, you know, if you don't know what to get, I would say get a little kit like this if you've got to decide what to get with your money. But, you know, in the event that you are just doing it with a sharp needle, with a cork on the end or something like that, I'm going to sew this one in with true junk journal style things we've got at home. So this is embroidery thread. I think it's DCM 6 strands, but I'm not sure. But I'm doing it, you know, with the full 6 strands. It's not as strong as the waxed thread, and I have to say, for a beginner, the waxed thread is very forgiving in as much as you can undo the knots with it. If you broggle them with the end of this, you know, if you tie a knot and you find out that your signature is loose, you can undo the knots when they've got this waxed thread. The downside to that is, you know, the knots are not all that secure. they don't tie tight and never come undone. So yeah, two-edged sword, I guess that. So get some thread, whatever it might be. That might just be string, whatever. Just bear in mind that whatever it is you're going to sew it with, you know, how strong is it and how much, how rough, I guess, are you going to be? How much use is it going to get in your book? So I'm going with this one. So you want 3 lengths of your book and a bit. Well, I'm going to go nearly 4, just because I like a bit of wiggle room. I get myself tied up. Now, if you're looking at this, you'll probably notice that I've put some fabric over the top. I don't know why I didn't do that with you yesterday. My brain just wasn't with it, was it? So, yeah, it's just neatened those edges up as well, hasn't it? So you could just put it over the top and not underneath, but it has now got a nice, strong-ish spine. Now, next is to put that crease back in there. Now, these I brought to show you are, yes, what are they? I had the word all ready to go because I knew I'd forget it, and now it's gone again. These are scorers, scoreboards, I guess, and they come in a variety of sizes and makes, etc. Now, I started with a big one. I got a little one just so I could have it sat on my desk and grab. But if you're going to invest in one, I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to show you how to do it without. But if you want to invest in one, I would say go with a bigger one first, unless room is a really, really, you know, issue. course, you might just be gifted one or pick one up in the charity shop. I think I bought 2 and got 1 for a present. So the bigger one, obviously, you can do small bits on it. But if you're doing, you know, the big A4 size or letter size journals, this one is perfect. And it's also good for your 12 by 12 papers. I didn't get any out again, but, you know, if you move on to scrapbooking paper, so you've already got them, that is a good scoreboard for those. They all have on the back, or all 3 of mine do, ways to show you to make envelopes. I think it's complicated when you can just fold a piece of paper in an envelope shape, but you know, they do have like the score lines or the triangles, and tells you how to do them. This one is how to create a card, how to score paper, how to create an envelope. So, and I think this one's got some emboss or deboss things on it, and yeah, how to make an envelope, the sizes to make. So yeah, I got this one next, I think, because it's a nice size. But then I saw this little tiny one, and I thought, well, that's perfect for little things. So I don't know why, but I had to have it. That's me. Yeah. So normally I would put that on there. I would find where my what spine wants to be or is, put it along there and score it. Not with this. This one hasn't got its scorer on it like that. But if you don't have one of those today and you want to fold your spine, that's not a problem. You kind of need a ruler though. Would be a good idea if I could see mine, wouldn't it? I haven't tidied up yet. That's going to be my next job once this is done. What am I going to? I don't know. Let's measure it across, because I can't, this paper was so thick I can't now see where my spine was. So just to give me a rough idea. So we're not quite 28, so not quite 14, about there. I'll do the same here. Oh, we're a lot short on that side. Must be the way I've wrapped the paper. No, not so much. So we'll go from that edge of short of 14 because we want it straight, don't we? Now sometimes you can fold it and just find your original. I don't think I'm going to in there because I put all the let's get it straight. Is that straight? According to my measuring it is. I put all the fabric, goodness me, fabric on it. Just double check my, I don't want to fold it wrong. So if I just measure from one side, then I'm bound to get it in a straight line, aren't I? So we're just under 14. Yeah, just under 14, so that is. Right, how to do it that way. Should have marked it on the inside. I'm doing pencil so it'll rub out, but it's not much of a line. Go back to 28 again. I think it depends where I measure it. So about there. No, from the same side, that's it. And then if I am longer on one side or the other, this line will still be straight. Okay, so I'm not going to draw down it. You can if you want to. Your signature is going to be sewn in, so for the most part it will be hidden. I'm not going to, I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to fold that up a little bit. And I'm going to put my bone folder under, or, you know, whatever you're using for a bone folder, your scissors, and kind of get it in a nice straight. I'm not forcing it, I'm just doing it gently. That's it. Now I've got the fold. Now if this paper cracks, and it may, or if mine doesn't and yours does, it might. Like I say, you can put lace down it, you can put tape down it, you can put more fabric down it. I often put lace on top of my, I'm not being rough, I'm just squashing gently at the minute. I often put lace on top of my signature strings when I've sewn them in, glue it down with some fabric glue, just so that it just gives it a little bit of extra strength, those strings. I probably will do that with this one. Right, I'm not going to, it's not like a page where you have to completely squash it flat, because it is a spine and it's going to have a signature in it, so you want a little bit of width, I guess. It's going to have this in it. Still might have to trim that one down a little bit. I don't know. It absolutely fits it. No, it's hanging out at the bottom. So I might just because I don't want to have it hanging out. Is there only the one that's that length? Let's have a look. No, there's a couple. So what I'm going to do is tap everything down to the bottom. And this is how I used to, before I had my guillotine. If I can get the drawer open, this is how I used to cut all my papers. Now, in the UK, these green mats are very cheap at the Works and other craft places. I got both mine from the Works. In fact, I've had a few. We get it nice and... So if you get something and bash it down in the middle, make sure your centres are all where they need to be. And then you can line up on this craft mat. I get my big plastic ruler. Now you can use the metal ruler for this, but just be very careful with your fingers. And I use craft knife, just a cheap, cheerful, I don't know if it wants sharpening, but it will do for this. And then I'm just going to take the very top of my signature off. Just going down it a few times, not dragging it. And you get a nice neat line. Usually just 3 and you're through it, but like I say, my blade's ready for chopping off and having a sharper one. That's fine, it's gone through. Lots of bits on my desk now. So, oh yeah, oh, it's that old book. It dragged it a little bit. Didn't like the paper, obviously. A sharp blade wouldn't have done that. Okay, so let's offer it up again. That's better. And now have like a couple of millimetres grace inside each. I keep thinking that's cut, it's that fabric. Okay, so make sure your papers are all the right way up before you sew your signature in. I have sewn upside down pages in so many times I can't tell you. Am I in the middle or have I gone past the middle? That's the middle. Okay, so get them where you want them. Line them up. See, that one's moved a bit. There you go. Have a good look. Make sure you're wherever you want to be. And then the best thing to do is, although keep your book as closed as you can, clip all your pages together, both sides. And now I often miss this step out now. But sometimes I pay for it. But I would say if you're starting out, clip both sides down so they don't move. Now if it's a bigger book, clip it top and bottom. But clip it as closed as you can, because these, as you open your book, these pages spread, and as you close it, they push back in. So, you know, if you clip it wide open and then close it to sew through, the pages are going to like twist and buckle. And I did make plenty like that and still do occasionally. So, you know, I'm just trying to help you expect these things, or to know it's not the end of the world if it happens, and how hopefully to not do that. And then you really need to get a book. Again, I don't do this myself now. Or some piece of foam or something padded, some cardboard to put your brad into. Now, I suppose I ought to teach you to do it in the middle. Again, when I do a small one like this, I just do it by eye. So we have got 17, so that is 8.5, isn't it, to the middle? I'm not going to put a pencil mark because I don't want to rub it out. I'm just going to, so I've put my brad on the brad awl on the 8.5 centimetre mark, and I've pushed it in. And now I'm going to push it all the way. So the point's gone into the book, look, rather than my table or me. And because it's quite a thick book signature, I'm going to push it a little bit further. Okay, that's it. And you have to go through this hole twice with your needle as well. So as you go further up the brad awl, you can see it gets thicker. So the further in you shove it, the bigger the hole you get in here. So it's kind of getting a happy medium where you get a big enough hole to do what you want to do without having a, you know, a gaping gap when you've done. Again, fabric will close up to some degree and paper will not, or very rarely. So from that middle of 8.5, I'm going to go the same distance up and down. So where do we want it? About 2. So if I'm going 8.5 there, yeah, let's see, about 7, I think. Yep, 7 centimetres that way. And again, I'm going to just push it through a little bit and then close the book as much as I can and push it right through until I go into that book. Yep, the point's through. And then I'm going to push it a little bit further, but not too far, so that I've got a decent size hole. And then I'm going to do the 7 centimetres this way again, so I can see, kind of see by eye where that needs to be. So roughly there, close the book as much as you can. Push it through. I'm not sure how much you're seeing, so I've pushed it through. It's stuck in there. Now I can keep my finger away from that and go a little bit further and pull it out. Okay, so I've now got 3 holes, my cover and my signature all tied together, clipped together. And I always now these days, because I've pulled it through so many times, just put a little clip on the end of my thread, just to stop me pulling it all the way through. Now it does get caught up in other places, but it does stop me having to go through again because I didn't take care. So if you want the strings to tie on the inside, start from the inside and put your needle through to the outside. If you want your strings to tie out here, start out here and go that way through the hole, and you would have all this on the outside, because where you start, i.e. here, is where you'll finish. So both threads will end up in the same place. So I like to go up to the top next and through that hole, and the less you move your book about, the more the holes will stay in the right place. Whoops. So this is called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. This is my go-to everyday one. I do use the 5-hole pamphlet stitch when I have quite a tallish book, but they're the only 2 bindings I use, but there are a lot more. Okay, so I've now gone from that top one all the way down to the bottom. I'll pull it through and then you can see what the thread's doing. So I've got this one, which will be the end, and I've got a thread going from the bottom to the top all the way down. And then back to the outside, and this is where we're going back through that middle hole with your needle. Keep your book as closed as possible. And we're through. We are straight through. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so I've got our threads through. Now we want one straddling either side of that centre thread that went from top to bottom, like that. So can you see, I've got one this side of it, one this side of it. And once we're there, I can take all these bits off the end of my threads. I'm going to pull this one so it's more level, you know, equal in size. That's it. Am I still either side? Keep checking. Oops. Yep, I've got one either side. And then we need to pull it till it's fairly tight there. Now, if you pull too much, you will cut your paper, because thread will cut through paper. So you need to pull it enough and tie a knot. Firm but not tight. That's not tight at all. Let's pull it a bit tighter. The thing is, the tighter I do it, the more it's going to cut through there. Yep, I think I'm going to call that. Okay, and I like to knot it 3 times, so I'll go one way, sort of left over right. So try and open it a bit. Then the other right over left, and then back again. So that's 3. See how tight it is. Now, I do have to say I much prefer the wax thread for pulling it tight as well. So you can take those off now. We'll leave that thread hanging. I will, as I use the book and fill the book, the cover will become a little softer. It's very stiff with the glue at the moment, but not an awful lot. yeah, we're nice and secure there. So let's look at the pages. So they're not finished pages, they're things we need to do. So this one's got the gum, the sticky gum bit. I need to do something on that fairly quickly, and it's, you know, it's got a crease down it there. Lots of bits and pieces that want doing to secure my pages. But it's quite a nice eclectic. There's the little page look that we put in, and luckily it went through two. I'll show you next time how to secure it. If you've got one down here and it only went through one hole, or in the middle and it just went through one hole, I'll show you how to secure it. That lovely airmail page, and that's the centre. We'll put some beads on this string eventually, or charms or something, so I will leave this one long. But yeah, that's a nice little, it's not too big, not too wieldy for your first attempt. We will put some what we call tip-ins and flip outs in it to make it, you know, thicker pages, bigger pages. But that's a lovely eclectic little journal, especially if it is your very first journal, you know, to have a play in. So we'll put some pockets and things in the front and back cover. Like I say, we'll put some ephemera pieces in it, we'll embellish it. But that's it sewn in. That's how I wanted it for Tuesday coming. So I hope you enjoyed the quick video. It is an extra video. The normal video will be up later. I'm working on the journal by Tanya, with a kit by Tanya. The journal's by me. That will be up later on today. This is just a quick one. Should upload quickly. Okay, have a lovely day. See you soon. Bye for now.